Lou.
How's little Lou doing?
No response.
Well, look at that. The child's taking a shine to me. You two were out cold, so I had you brought here. You were right. Whatever you did back there returned us to our own world. I put your cargo and gear in your private box. You slept for a whole day, you know. Slept like the dead. I'm already back in Capital Knot. Fragile's beach has been coming in handy. Sam.
With that, I think it's now common, and I'm intrigued if I just maybe missed it when these holographs just faded out or faded in, that I just missed the sound, because that man just gave me the last piece of the puzzle, that yeah, it would zonk in and he will probably zonk out at the end of this conversation. Which makes sense, because this is more than just a simple holograph, right? There is no light going through, there's no glow, so there needs to be some sort of element that blocks light, but also has color to reflect of the person. The only thing that doesn't make sense, because this is future text, so don't like, this is not a minus point, but this is just a logic thing, that it could not really track correctly what the other human is doing. Like, I cannot think of any anything that could even resemble this sort of technology in any sort of fantasy, sci-fi, or any story I remember. So yeah, that's just me being me, though. That's a thing I will overshow. This will not put any weight on the game. So, just a thing for this game.
I owe you an apology. Lou was the name you were going to give your own baby if he'd had made it. I should have pieced it together sooner.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I found some records from 10 years ago. A death, sudden, in the middle of a town. Young woman in the prime of her life. Nobody knew until it was too late. A void out. Her husband, who was a member of Bridges, had dooms. He tried, but he couldn't get to her in time. The whole town was wiped off the map, leaving nothing but a big crater and him. Because he was a repatriate. People wanted answers. Did the man hide his wife's...
I need to add a little something to this method, this hologram method. It's I would this is just an extra comment. I would like if they explained it a little bit more, but I know that any sort of explanation would make me thirst for more. So my logic is saying don't explain it, but I really want to know more about it. Sorry about that.
His body on purpose. The only survivor was the only suspect. He was easy to blame, and people did. And pretty soon, they were blaming Bridges too. The man felt responsible, so he left. And his wife, who died, her name was Lucy. She'd been pregnant, poor woman. They were going to name their son Lou.
Didn't happen.
But it did. President Strand told me. She talked about you all the time. He didn't have to cut all ties and walk away, she said.
They shouldn't have let an audio effect from him talking behind the glass. This is now like, this is basically the main problem with this game, that it's very good and accurate in everything that it does. You know, the first scene was fragile, how she was eating this worm-like thing, and in this case, putting an audio effect on Deadman made sense because he suddenly was behind glass. But since this is a call from somewhere else, they shouldn't have put it on it to make it like that is a layer of immersion that goes against against the atmosphere. In my opinion, at least.
Wanna shut the fuck up?
Calm down, Sam. Take a seat. I told you before about my body. 70% harvested from cadavers. Do you want to know the real reason why? Because the story you've heard is one I made up. The truth is, I'm Frankenstein's monster. Artificial, grown from pluripotent stem cells. And when that vital spark didn't manifest in all my organs, they replaced the defective ones with those of the dead. I never had a birthday. I'm a soulless meat puppet. No ka, a dead man. People born the traditional way have beaches. You have one. BB too. But I have no such connections. No mother. No afterlife. No beach.
Which also gives him an additional reason to not like BB units, since they are the next closest thing to babies. And they constantly remind him of the fact that he never had a birthday. Or a parent.
You see now why I'm so obsessed with it all? Why I joined Bridges? The battlefield. Now that was an awful beach. But strangely, I didn't hate it, because I knew you were coming for me. I've never felt that before. Connected to someone, anyone. You didn't have to cut all ties and walk away. The president was right about that much.
Wasn't anything to walk away from. It's not like I was ever welcome there.
Come on, even I was welcome. Oh, that. You were holding it.
Also, it was probably the best decision he could make for the public opinion as well, because if he would have stayed there, they would, like his mother, Bridges, would have strong-armed everyone to be nicer to him or to not let him feel it, but he was probably getting mean looks all around anyways, so it makes sense that it was just only natural for him to leave. Now there's still the falling out they had, and so it wasn't as rosy between those two, so I haven't forgotten, but it's just a connection I think it's important to point out.
It's an old dog tag, US issue. Wasn't easy prying it out of your hand. Clifford Unger, as you can see. I looked him up in our database. Found a match. He was US Army Special Forces. Fought in Kosovo, Iraq, Afghanistan.
That's him.
Well, that's all I've managed to dig up so far. You must be caked in chiral matter from the battlefield. Time for a shower, I'd say. Oh, I won't be joining you this time. The Die Hardman issue is no longer a concern. I've seen to it that our conversations won't be recorded.